Have you ever wondered how a pencil is made? This seemingly simple tool, found in almost every home, school, and office, holds a fascinating story of transformation. A story that begins in the heart of a tree and ends in the hands of artists, writers, and thinkers worldwide. Pencils, despite their simplicity, play a significant role in our everyday lives. They're more than just a writing instrument. They're a vehicle for creativity, a tool for learning, and a symbol of human innovation. In this video, we're going to delve into the intriguing process of pencil making. We'll journey through the careful selection of materials, the precision of crafting, the artistry of painting and finishing, and the strict measures of quality control and packaging. Every step in this process is crucial, each contributing to the creation of a tool that has been sparking imagination and innovation for centuries. So, stay tuned to learn how a simple piece of wood gets transformed into a tool of creativity. The first step in the process of making a pencil is gathering the materials. There's a certain magic in understanding the origins of the humble pencil, a tool that has been a constant companion for many of us through our learning journeys. The primary component of a pencil, the body, is made from wood. Cedar is the preferred choice due to its soft nature that makes it easy to shape and carve. The trees are grown in sustainable forests, harvested and carefully processed into thin slats, ready to cradle the pencil's heart, the graphite core. The core, often mistakenly referred to as lead, is actually made from a combination of graphite and clay. Graphite is a type of carbon that is mined from the earth, mainly from countries like Sri Lanka, Mexico, and Madagascar. This graphite is then ground into a fine powder. Clay, on the other hand, is gathered from riverbeds and is also ground into a fine powder. These two materials are mixed together in varying proportions to create cores of different hardness levels. Then there's the paint, the vibrant outer layer that gives the pencil its final touch of personality. The paint is typically a combination of pigment, binder, and solvent. The pigments, which give the paint its color, are usually derived from both organic and inorganic compounds. The binder, which helps the paint stick to the pencil, is usually an oil or a resin. The solvent keeps the paint in a liquid state until it's applied. Finally, we have the eraser, that little miracle worker at the end of the pencil. It's made from synthetic rubber. The rubber is mixed with pumice, a type of volcanic ash, and other materials to create a compound that can effectively erase pencil marks. So, from the Earth's bosom, we gather wood, graphite, and clay. From the vibrant world of chemistry, we derive our paint and eraser compounds. These materials, each carrying a story of its own, come together to create the simple yet significant pencil. Now that the materials are ready, it's time to move on to the next step. With all the materials in place, it's time to craft the pencil. Picture a block of cedar, firm and fragrant, waiting to be transformed. It's first cut into thin, precise slats, each one just the right width to cradle the heart of the pencil, the graphite core. But wait, let's rewind a bit. That core isn't pure graphite, it's a mixture of graphite and clay. The graphite gives the core its characteristic dark mark, and the clay allows us to control the hardness of the pencil. More clay equates to a harder pencil, which leaves a lighter mark. On the other hand, more graphite results in a softer pencil, leaving a darker mark. These ingredients are ground together, mixed with water, and then extruded through a die to form thin, round rods. These rods are then baked in a kiln, transforming them into the pencil cores we're familiar with. These cores are then ready to be nestled into the cedar slats. A second slat is glued on top, sandwiching the core between the wood. This sandwich is then cut into individual pencils. It's a bit like slicing a loaf of bread, if you will, but with much more precision. Now we're not quite done yet. Each pencil is still a rough rectangular object at this point. It needs to be rounded and smoothed. The pencils are placed into a machine that spins them against a sanding belt, whittling them down to their familiar, comfortable round shape. A second sanding process then smooths out any remaining rough spots, preparing the pencil for the painting process. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. That's a story for the next scene. For now, let's take a moment to appreciate the transformation. From a block of cedar and a lump of graphite and clay, we now have a pencil. It's a testament to human ingenuity, a simple tool that has changed the world in countless ways. The pencil is now taking shape, but there's still more to do. The next step in the process is painting and finishing the pencil. This is where our humble writing instrument begins to take on its familiar guise. Pencils are typically painted yellow, a tradition that dates back to the late 19th century. At that time, the world's best graphite came from China. In order to signify that these pencils contained high-quality Chinese graphite, American manufacturers began painting them yellow, a color often associated with respect and royalty in Chinese culture. Over time, this practice became the norm, and yellow became the go-to color for pencils around the world. The painting process is a fascinating one. Each pencil is placed on a conveyor belt, then sprayed with several thin coats of paint. The pencils are then baked at a high temperature to dry the paint. This process is repeated several times to ensure a thick, even coating. It's a meticulous process that requires precision and patience. Once the pencil is painted, it's time to attach the ferrule, the distinctive metal band that holds the eraser. The ferrule is made from a thin sheet of metal, typically brass or aluminum, that's curled into a ring and crimped onto the end of the pencil. This is done by a machine which applies just the right amount of pressure to secure the ferrule without damaging the pencil. Next comes the eraser. The eraser is made from a mixture of pumice and rubber that's molded into the familiar pink cylinder we all know and love. This cylinder is then inserted into the ferrule and secured with a crimp. The eraser serves a dual purpose. It corrects mistakes, of course, but it also provides a comfortable grip for the user. Now, the pencil looks like the one we see in stores, but is it ready yet? There's still one more key step in the pencil making process. Stay tuned to find out what it is. The final step in the process of making a pencil is quality control and packaging. Once the pencils have been crafted, painted, and given their finishing touches, they move on to the quality control stage. Here, each pencil is meticulously inspected to ensure it meets the strict quality standards set by the manufacturer. It's a process that might seem tedious, but it's crucial in ensuring that every pencil that leaves the factory is ready to perform its function flawlessly. The quality control process involves a series of tests designed to assess the pencil's durability and functionality. For instance, pencils are subjected to a breakage test to ensure they can withstand the pressures of writing or drawing without snapping. They are also tested for their scribbling ability, with quality control teams checking the smoothness of the pencil's lines and the consistency of its color. Further, the pencils are inspected visually to ensure they are free from any flaws or defects. Any pencil that fails these tests is discarded, ensuring that only the highest quality pencils make it to the packaging stage. Packaging is the final step in the pencil making process, and it's just as important as the rest. The packaging is not only designed to protect the pencils during transport and display in stores, but it's also an essential part of a pencil's branding. It's the first thing a customer sees, so it needs to be appealing and informative, reflecting the quality of the pencil within. The pencils are typically packaged in boxes or tins, often in sets of 12. These packages are then sealed, labeled, and prepared for distribution. The packaging process is typically automated, with machines handling the sorting, counting, and packing of the pencils. And there you have it. The humble pencil, a tool that has been used for centuries to create art, write stories, and record history, goes through an intricate process before it reaches your hands. From the gathering of raw materials, crafting, painting, and finishing to the rigorous quality control and thoughtful packaging, every step is essential in making the perfect pencil. And that's how a pencil is made, from gathering the materials to packaging the final product. So, that's the journey of a pencil, from a piece of wood to a tool of creativity. We've seen how the process begins with the gathering of raw materials: cedar wood, graphite, clay, and pumice. Then, the crafting of the pencil takes place, where the wood is cut into slats, the graphite core is inserted, and the pencil is shaped and smoothed. The process doesn't end there, as each pencil is then painted and finished, sometimes with as many as 6 coats of paint, adding the final touches that make it a tool ready for use. The last step is quality control and packaging, ensuring that every pencil is up to standard before it's sent out into the world. Each step is crucial in creating the pencil we often take for granted. Next time you pick up a pencil, remember the journey it's been on to get to you. Thank you for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more interesting content like this.